I'll be right back.
Howdy, folks. What's going on? This is the Outlaw Hatfield back at you one more time tonight. Hey, look, guys. The Scotsman said he's going to be right back. He's going to get some beer for some ungodly reason. God knows he probably don't need it.
He's not drunk enough yet.
No. Well, I think he's naturally high. I think that's the thing with him. Before we go any further, let's introduce my panel tonight. I'll accept Scotsman because, well, like I said, he's going to get beer so he can piss on himself later. We have Gary. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Looking at a Glock, a cock with a Glock. That's not safe. That's just not safe.
Well, I think he's renaming his channel to Cocks and Glocks.
Oh well, cocks with Glocks. We have Inside Freedom. How are you, brother?
I am doing well. Kind of hot, but well. How's everybody else?
Don't say you're hot. Your Night Strike's in here. He gets excited.
Oh. Well, he's hotter than I am.
Ellis, fuck you.
No. Night Strike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing
good, bad.
I'm working on GunTube right now, so I'm preoccupied.
Well, you have something more important to work on at the moment. Sarge, what's going on, brother?
Oh, not a lot. I appreciate the invite. I've been excited since I heard about it last night, so I'm ready to go with some 80s pro wrestling. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, you know, like I said over on Matt's chat earlier, somebody had suggested it as a bracket last week, and Matt don't know enough about professional wrestling to actually do that. Me, on the other hand, I'm old school. I remember Abdullah the Butcher, so and Killer Kowalski. Scotsman, how are you, sir?
All right. I was gonna get more beer, but yeah, I probably don't need it. It's all good. I remember, and I don't know if you guys remember or not, but if you guys remember Big Daddy. Big Daddy was a pretty big wrestler back in the day. And, yeah.
There's been a lot of Scottish wrestlers, hasn't there?
Yeah, I believe Big Daddy was actually English, even though, you know, I hate the fucking English, but I'm pretty sure he was English.
You remember Fit Finlay? He was Irish, but he was mean back in the day, man.
Yes.
He was one of those guys you just wasn't going to run over in the ring, that's for sure.
Big Daddy was also, his actual name was Shirley Crabtree Jr.
Why? Okay then.
But Big Daddy was pretty funny.
Not somebody
would Rowdy fit into that?
Well, speaking of which, guys, for those of you who don't know, this is what we're basically talking about tonight. Let me show you the bracket that I have set up. Screen share here. There we go. And this is the bracket that we were going to be discussing later on. We have Ric Flair going against Junkyard Dog, Randy Savage against Ted DiBiase, Ivan Koloff, Tommy Rich, Kevin Sullivan, Roddy Piper, Tully Blanchard, Eddie Gilbert, Terry Funk, Stan Hansen. How many of you guys actually remember Stan Hansen?
I vividly remember Stan Hansen.
Wahoo McDaniel and Nikita Koloff.
Holy crap, 32?
Yep, we're going to be here a while. Sting and Lex Luger.
I may need to get more beer if we're going to be here this long.
Hulk Hogan and Jerry Lawler. Honky Tonk Man and Arn Anderson. I had that set up as something else, but I decided to go back here. Kerry Von Erich and the Ultimate Warrior. Andre the Giant versus Rick Rude. Jake the Snake Roberts. Superfly Billy Graham, or Superstar Billy Graham. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Holly Race. Dusty Rhodes, Larry Zbyszko, Magnum TA against Rick Martel. Guys, I know that there's a lot of names left out on this particular list. The problem with that is there were so many great wrestlers in the 80s. There's no way you could put them on a bracket like this and have them all listed. So what I've decided to do is we're doing singles this week. These guys were all champions in the single bracket, in the singles wrestling back in the 80s. What I'm going to do is next week we're going to go with a tag team bracket from the 80s.
Oh my gosh.
In the 80s, tag teams were the shit. You had guys like the Road Warriors, Demolition, the Rock and Roll Express, the Freebirds. Oh, God, the Four Horsemen. Any one of those guys could have been a tag team and were at one point in time or another. Let's see, the Fabulous Ones. Who am I leaving out here? There's so many. The Killer Bees.
You got to always throw in the
Midnight Express.
Got to throw in the Eastern Bloc villains.
Yeah, the Russians.
But who was Jimmy Garvin tag team with? Who was that?
Michael Hayes, most of the time.
Yeah.
He also tagged with Eddie Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in Mid-South. It might have even been over in Memphis. He was tagging with
Jerry Lawler and all that gang over in Memphis.
Yep. When they say Jerry Lawler was the king of Memphis when it came to wrestling, that's exactly what they meant. He was the king of wrestling in that area.
Yes, he literally was.
He pulled more money into that town by himself than anything else. When he was on the card, Memphis had money coming in. It's just. What about Scotty Too Hotty? I don't think he was around for the 80s there, Too Hotty. His dad, on the other hand, who we were just talking about, Jerry Lawler, was very much alive and well and had some hellacious matches there. Who remembers the match with Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk? The Lights Out match, the empty stadium. It was an I Quit match. And supposedly Jerry had put Terry's eye out with a spike or something, if I remember correctly. It was an interesting match. So that's what we're discussing tonight, guys. We're just going to go through this panel real quick. And who was each of your favorite wrestlers in the 1980s? And Sarge, we're going to start with you.
Mine was up the top left corner of that bracket. I'm going to go with none other than Ric Flair, and still is my favorite.
You know, he was the man in the 80s that if you remember the commercial for WC or NWA at the time on TBS was watch the people you love to hate. Well, I love to hate Ric Flair. There, back in the day, I hated that man worse than anything in this world. You know, as I grew up and I grew older and I learned more about wrestling, damn, I realized what it was.
Bless you.
And then, thank you. And then I started gaining respect for him. Any guy that can go through an airplane crash, break his back out for how many years, and then come back and do what he did, that's saying something. That's a testament right there.
That was before his first world title. That was before any of it. So.
Yep.
77 or 78.
Yep. Insight, who was your favorite?
Yeah, it would be a close one probably. Ric Flair, he's the colorful character, but you know what Hulk Hogan did. He pretty much put WWF on his shoulders, and you had to kind of respect that run for as long as it went.
I'm going to say this. I respect Hulk Hogan for what he did. I did not think he was nearly the in-ring talent or had the ability on the microphone as a Ric Flair. Just nowhere close.
Well, Ric Flair or Macho Man Randy Savage, either of those guys could go completely berserk on the microphone.
Well, so can another guy on this particular list, and that was Jake the Snake Roberts. Some of his interviews, man, were just out there.
Carrying that Steve Python around with him. Yeah,
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Yep, that was pretty cool too. Nice Track, who was your favorite? And you're young. You're the youngest one in here, I think. So you'd have to be reaching a ways.
Yeah, the problem is my favorite isn't on the list.
Well,
because we were talking about it the other night, and my favorite was Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of them that should have been on the list somewhere, but there was just so much great talent. Well, we'll do this again. We'll do this.
He was prevalent through from the 70s into the 80s, and I think he is still active.
He still works there.
Yeah, he still works for WWE. Sergeant Slaughter holds the distinction of being the only man to throw out both the Road Warriors at the same time in a battle royal.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that's ever managed that feat, and that's saying something when you're looking at guys like Hawk and Animal. Gary, what about you? Earth to the Clucker. Yeah, we'll get back to Gary. Scotsman?
Hold on. I had my damn mic muted.
Scotsman says he's going out to get beer. It's going to take a while.
Oh, well.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying the man who was so good, he was known by two different nicknames, and he hailed from St. Joseph, Missouri. I introduce you to Handsome Harley Race.
And he is definitely on the list. He is definitely in there. How can you not have Harley Race in there?
Or Mad Dog Race, depending on what time.
He looks like he could be kin to you.
Yeah, possibility. That's a possibility. Let's do a roll call out on the YouTube side real quick. See who's out there hanging around. We have Philo Too Hottie, Zippy's out there. C4, you're out there. Tina Limited Cat. Yep. Knowledge is Ammo. I like that name.
That's Boomer.
Hey, Boomer. How you doing, buddy?
I gave him a link, but I think he just wants to watch.
But if you want to come on in here, you're more than welcome. Let's see. Too Hottie. Cisco's out there. And that's about it for right now. We've only got 12 watching. Well, that's fine. More will jump on as everything else slows down. So, guys, do you want to get this thing started? We are going to be here a while with 32 of these guys.
I'm ready.
You may have made too big a list.
Nope.
No.
I could have actually made it bigger. I could have made it bigger, and we would have been here till 4 o'clock. Yeah, I could have easily went to 60. So, because like I said, in the 1980s, there was so many great talents out there that I just couldn't put on. Thunderbolt Patterson, Pistol Pez Watley. God, you remember Pistol Pez, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
King Parsons, remember him? He was good. Let's see. Lord.
Hatfield, where were you primarily back in the 80s? Where were you living primarily back then?
West Virginia.
So did you pick up any of the Smoky Mountain wrestling back in those days?
Well, Smoky Mountain didn't start until the early 90s. And that was Jim Cornette's baby.
Well, but I mean, it was still kicking around in Knoxville earlier than that because Kane kind of started with his stuff down there.
Jim Cornette actually started Smoky Mountain Wrestling after he left WCW and his first stint in the WWF. And he had some great talent. He was pulling in some great talent. And he would have guys from the other promotions coming in and just boosting his sales when he needed them. Jim Cornette, if we was to do a bracket on managers, and we might do that some other time, I would say Jim Cornette would probably make it to the finals. Because between him and Bobby Heenan, you can't think of any two more prevalent wrestling managers than those two gentlemen. And they had two totally different styles. You know, I've heard people say how great Paul Jones was as a manager, and he was a good manager, but he was
Number
no
one,
manager.
Paul Jones.
Yep,
That was his nickname.
Yep, there was just, or Paul Ellering was another one. Baby Doll, if you want to go with a female manager. So many of these ladies and gentlemen was out there. Even Cyndi Lauper was quote unquote a manager for a little while for Hogan, and who else was it? Lou Albano.
Yeah, Lou Albano.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's going back a ways. That's going like what, WrestleMania 1 or somewhere in there. So,
A long time ago.
yep, very long time ago. So this is what we're talking about tonight, guys. Hey, Knowledge, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah.
I told you it was okay.
Yeah. Hey, if I'm doing one of these open panels, yeah, I don't care who joins. I really don't. You ain't got to be the least bit intimidated to jump in here and talk with us. We'd love to have you. Believe me, if I let somebody like Scotsman in here, I'll let anybody in here.
That's true.
Yeah.
I brought my buddy with me, so.
And I'll go you one better than that. I've had Biker Bob in here.
Oh, wow. Why would you subject yourself to that torture?
Me and my buddy Rowdy come in here, so.
Hey, Roddy.
Roddy Piper. There we go.
Roddy with a hot rod. There you go. And not a bad actor either. Not a bad actor.
They Live, good movie. Good
They
movie.
live.
Hell Goes to Frogtown was a bit iffy, but They Live was pretty good.
It was iffy. It was not a good movie, but it was an entertaining movie.
Well, I guess that depends on how you define entertainment.
One of the greatest fight scenes ever. I mean, they even choreographed that for South Park and many other movies to come. They still choreographed the fight scene from They Live in many movies.
Yeah, that, in my opinion, is the best fight scene I've ever seen in a movie, period. And they beat the dog shit out of each other for, and it's not a short fight. I mean, this thing lasts, what, 3-4 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Easy. The only fight scene I think that comes anywhere close to being as good as that is the one at the end of, that Patrick Swayze movie. The name eludes me at the minute.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, yes.
Roadhouse.
That final fight scene at the end of that movie was freaking awesome too. Those are my two favorite fight scenes in movies, period. So
that's a lot of pain to get to that good fight scene in that movie.
Yep. Is Scotsman back yet? Or is he still gone across the street?
Still beer.
Lord.
It's beer o'clock for him.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to screen share. We're going to go ahead and start this bracket off and see where we go. So, first up, Ric Flair and the Junkyard Dog. That's the first fight, and we are going to start with we'll start with Gary. Gary, who do you think?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. That's a good choice. Ric Flair, what? According to WWE, he's what, 18-time world champion? So that's impressive.
It's more like 23, I think, total.
Yeah, he's held a lot more than that.
And there's a lot of ones that weren't acknowledged. A lot of title changes.
Yeah.
He's still named.
So insight?
Yeah,
Ric
you know,
Flair,
since,
Junkyard Dog.
yeah, Ric Flair came to the dance with me, so I'm going to go Ric Flair against Junkyard Dog for sure. You know, nobody else has done the ESPN special other than him either, so a little extra love there.
And he's probably the only 80s wrestler that's got a suit that he wore to the ring sitting in the Smithsonian. The last outfit he ever wrestled with is in the Smithsonian right now. You can view it.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I still think they need one of Rowdy's kilts too, though.
I agree. Knowledge? Ric Flair or JYD?
Boom,
You're
look at
muted.
you.
Knowledge,
Mute
you're
yourself.
muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Didn't know I muted it. Sorry. Ric Flair, got to give it to him. He just got way more behind him.
Yep, I have to agree. Night Strike?
Ric Flair. There's no question.
Yep. Sarge?
Ric Flair, no question. JYD was good, but not that good.
Yeah, I agree. The Crazy Scotsman's not here, and I'm going to go Ric Flair too. So, ladies and gentlemen, looks like Ric Flair has moved on. So,
You get the bell. Great.
let's see. Who do we
That
got?
was perfect.
Randy Savage versus Ted DiBiase. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. And we are going to start with Sarge this time.
Oh wow. You put me on the
Bottom of the barrel.
spot there.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I like Ted DiBiase, I mean, Macho Man could do anything, and I think in real life he'll be really, really tough too. So I'm going Randy Savage all the way.
Well, Randy Savage was great. There's no doubt. And guys, I don't think there's a wrong answer here at all. Because they were both great. Night Strike, what say you?
Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Good choice.
Step into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, that was from the 90s.
That was from the 90s, but he's been around. He was doing stuff in the 80s too. So
he was doing stuff in the late 70s, bro.
no, I wasn't around for that. So
for me, it's going to be Mr. Macho Man, Randy Savage all the way with wonderful Miss Elizabeth by his side.
Yep. Insight?
You know, as much as I'd like to throw a bone to the $1 Million Man thinking he might be able to buy his way into this, I think I would have to say the Macho Man Randy Savage there. So, especially with a cameo in the Spider-Man series, too.
Hey, man. Yeah, most people forget about that.
Yeah.
Gary?
Randy Macho Man Savage.
And I'm going to go with the Macho Man as well. It's kind of hard to knock Randy Savage. He he was a hell of a wrestler. He was one of those guys that could do just about anything he wanted in the ring and get away with it. And he was fearless at it. Guys, this is going to be another one of those tough ones, I think. A lot of you guys might not know who the first one is. You probably know the second one. Ivan Koloff versus Tommy Wildfire Rich. Who are we going to throw under the bus this time? Insight.
Let's just let's get an Ivan in there. Got to get an Ivan in there. Let's get something a little different in the mix. But in that bracket, he doesn't stand a chance of moving too much farther.
I don't know. Tommy might come back here. You can't knock a man from Tennessee. Ain't no telling where he's going to come from. Night Strike?
I have to agree with Insight. Let's go, Ivan.
So that's 2 votes for Ivan. Sarge?
I'm gonna go with the only world champion out of the two, and I'm gonna go with Tommy Wildfire Rich.
And who did he beat for that championship?
I don't remember. I don't remember whether he beat Flair or who he beat. I know he only held it for like a week.
Yeah, he didn't hold it long. He held it for, I think it was like a week and a half, and then he lost it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it was Harley Race that he beat.
Oh my gosh.
So, Gary?
Got to go with the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff.
That's 3 for the Russian. Knowledge?
I got to go with Ivan. Yeah, Russian Bear.
He's not going to go much further.
He was from Minnesota.
Scotsman's on the phone, and I would have went with Tommy Rich, but it won't matter what I'd have went with because Ivan's already won it.
I just gotta like a Canadian professional wrestler with the Russian Bear tag. That's just, to me, there's something interesting about that Eastern character out of Canada.
Yeah, he retired in died in North Carolina, so I'll give him to that.
Now,
Bob's favorite wrestler.
Now, this one you guys are going to hate me for. 2 great wrestlers in their own right, and both kind of sadistic. Kevin Sullivan versus Roddy Piper. And we're going to start with, I'm going to go first on this one, and I'm going to go with Roddy. Given the choice between the two, when you're talking about sadistic and mean, there's a fine line. Roddy was mean. Kevin Sullivan was just evil. But Roddy had this flair about him. He could beat your ass and smile at you the whole time. So I'm going with Roddy on this one. What say you, Sarge?
I got to go with Roddy Piper. Even though Kevin Sullivan is often overlooked, I think Roddy would win this one.
I don't know. It'd be an interesting fight to see. Not Strike?
Mm-hmm. I'm going Roddy.
So far, that's 3 for Roddy. Knowledge?
My boy, Roddy Piper.
That's 4 for Roddy. Insight?
Yeah, I'm going with Roddy in the kilt, and I'm going to suspect that the Scotsman would lean towards that, even though the guy was out of Canada, too.
Yep. And
one of those Canadian Scotsmen.
That leaves Gary.
Roddy Piper.
There we have it. Boy, this next round's going to be interesting, guys. Tully Blanchard, Eddie Gilbert. 2 great champions in their own right. This is a tough one. Gary, what do you say?
Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert. Okay, well.
Gosh.
Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie. Insight?
Looking for some hot stuff. Go with Eddie.
That's 2 for Eddie. Knowledge?
Tully Blanchard. I mean, from kid, I always was Jim Crockett Promotions guy, so yeah.
Okay. Not Strike?
Eddie.
That's 3 for Eddie.
Respectful of another Tennessee in there, anyway.
Sarge?
Tully Blanchard all the way. All the way.
Crazy? You're back? And he's not.
He's going Tully Blanchard.
And I'm going to go for Tully. So, gentlemen, we have a tie.
We can't have a tie. There's 7 people in here.
Yeah, but one of them ain't here.
He said Tully. I heard him.
Tully.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over to the audience real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chance to get involved in this thing. Is it going to be Eddie Gilbert or Tully Blanchard for the win? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Your pizza.
Well, Sarge has spoken. You better say Tully. Come on, guys. Let's see some names out here. Is it going to be Tully Blanchard or Eddie Gilbert? There's one for Tully. Respect the stash.
Can't get any respect from my deceased Tennessean.
Hey, he had a goatee for a while. Then he went back to a full beard.
Tully had a
And
lot of
we've
championships
only got
behind
one
him.
guy. We've only got one guy out there actually saying anything, and that's Psycho. And he said Tully. So guess what? We going with Tully Blanchard.
Yes.
So Tully moves on. Sorry, Eddie. We love you and all, but not going to happen today. Guys. Now here's two very rough, mean, break you in half individuals who just enjoyed getting in the ring and hurting people. Terry Funk and Stan Hansen.
Ooh.
See, as you can see, I didn't put all good guys against bad guys and bad guys against good guys. I mixed them up a bit. So we're going to start with Sarge. Hansen or Funk?
Although Terry was good, if anyone hasn't seen Stan Hansen, do yourself a favor and watch YouTube videos of him. I'm going Stan Hansen. That is a bad dude.
He was, and he was tough as nails. Night Strike?
Hansen.
That's 2 for Hansen. Knowledge?
Before Sargent reminded me about him and who he was, I'd have probably said Terry, but Stan Hansen, he was a bad cowboy slinging dude.
That's 3 for Stan. Insight?
Yeah, even with some of the silly cowboy get up, I think I'm gonna go with Stan.
Well, Stan had the silly cowboy get up too. So, Gary?
Somebody's got to go with Funk. I'm going with Terry Funk, man.
Well, back to me, and I will say this. Terry Funk was in one of the greatest I Quit matches with Ric Flair I have ever witnessed. And I've seen quite a few I Quit matches. But that Clash of the Champions match with him and Flair, that I Quit match, that was just brutal. I'm going Funk. Didn't win.
It seems like Terry was around forever.
He was.
He technically was around forever.
He started in the early 70s. I think 72, 73, somewhere in that neck of the woods. And he's still going today. He still wrestles. So that tells you something about the longevity of that particular individual. Guys, this is going to be another one of those really interesting pair-ups. Wahoo McDaniels versus Nikita Koloff.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that one's tough. That one's tough. Gary, where are you going?
I'm going with Nikita Koloff.
Yep. That Russian sickle took a lot of guys' heads off.
Yep.
Inside. Insight, where are you going? You're muted, Insight. Mute button's sneaking up on people tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Nikita. I'm probably going to do that because those are two that I just really didn't pay much attention to, but I'm going to go with that.
That's a shame because Nikita had some great matches, man. Knowledge?
I have to go with Wahoo. I've got his autograph, and I just have to go with Wahoo.
So that's 1 for Wahoo. Night Strike.
I'm going to have to go with Nikita Koloff.
Big Russian. Actually, he wasn't. He was from Minnesota.
Yeah, he was.
And now he's living in Charlotte. Sarge?
Are we going like Indian death match, or was this a straight match? I don't know. I'm torn.
It could have went a Russian chain match.
Oh, they'll see. Oh my gosh. I guess based on pure athletic ability and just meanness, I gotta take Nikita. It's close though. I think it would have to go 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Now was Wahoo the American Indian that played football too? Is that who I was
Yes.
thinking
Yeah.
of?
He played for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
He's a pretty tough guy.
He was a tough guy.
Yeah, he had a Mid-Atlantic championship. I mean, he was a real dude.
Big chest chop.
Speaking of big chest and chops, he had a chop. Good Lord. The only person in the business I think chopped better than him would be Ric Flair or maybe Ricky Steamboat.
Yep.
Crazy, are you back with us yet? Nope, he's not. So, and guys, I would have went with Nikita. So that's puts Nikita in the next round.
Wow, that was tough though.
Okay, now this one's tough because I like both these guys a lot. Sting and Lex Luger. One of them's going bye-bye. And as much as I like them both, and I'm going first this time, as far as pure wrestling ability, neither one of them was great. But I think Sting was a better worker. I think he was a better talent. So I'm going Sting. Sarge, where are you going?
Yeah, Sting would wipe the floor with Lex Luger.
And did a couple of times. Yeah. So that's 2 for Sting. Night Strike.
I really don't like Sting. I've never liked Sting. But unfortunately, I have to choose Sting.
Yeah.
Okay. And why don't you like the Stinger? What's wrong with the Stinger, man?
I just never liked, the character, the way he did things. I wasn't a fan.
Okay. Knowledge?
Got to go with Sting. Just so dramatic. Such a great showman.
He was great. Still is.
Yeah.
Insight?
Yeah, I'm going Sting for the face paint and the fact that he's still kind of hanging around in the legend stuff. So I'm going to stick with Sting.
I agree. Gary?
Sting.
Well, Lex Luger, you just got put out by the Stinger. So there you have that. And gentlemen, we are now on the other side of the board. And this is going to be another tough one. Hulk Hogan versus Jerry Lawler. And we're starting with Gary this time.
I just have to go with Jerry Lawler on this one.
That's a vote for Jerry. Not
Not
sure.
a Hulk Hogan fan, I'm sorry.
Or Insight, you're next.
Let Insight go first.
Insight?
Yeah, and I led in with the Hulk Hogan pump up for the WWE, but I'm going to go with Jerry on this one again, kind of sticking with as you said, the king of Memphis. So Lawler's been around in my memory a lot longer than most other wrestlers growing up in Tennessee.
And like he pretty much owned Memphis wrestling. There's, you're talking about wrestling in Tennessee, you're talking about Jerry Lawler. Period. Night Strike?
I'm going to be the dissenter on this one. So I'm sorry, guys, and I apologize in advance, but I'm going to go with Hulk Hogan.
No, you ain't got to apologize.
Because I just remember, I'm the youngest out of here, and, he was doing stuff well into the 90s, and, I've got that nostalgia there with it.
He was doing stuff well into the 2000s.
Including porn.
Yeah, including porn. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want to get into that part. I didn't mess with that stuff.
SARS, what says you?
Well, although I respect what he did, I have a lot of disdain for Hulk Hogan, so I'm going Jerry Lawler because he was the king of Memphis and still is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he still wrestles too, by the way, for anybody that didn't know that. Another one of those guys that's up there in age and just won't give up the ghost. And, see, this is a tough one for me. And there's a reason why I say it's tough. Talent-wise, Jerry Lawler was a much better talent. But when you think about what Hulk Hogan did for the business, I got to go Hulk, but it ain't going to matter because Jerry's won it. So there you have it. The King beats the Hulk.
I didn't vote.
Who didn't vote? Who didn't vote?
Knowledge didn't vote.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I don't know what the count was, but always have been, always will be a Hogan fan.
Well, then that ties it up. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That ties
Yes.
it.
Yes.
That ties it. It's a Hulk Hogan Harry.
He's so self-centered, Hulk Hogan is.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Why do you think I like Piper?
It's tied up, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going back. We are going back to the audience. Who's the audience picking out there? Will it be Jerry the King Lawler or Hulk Hogan for the win?
Oh, they're gonna go Hogan, I'm sure. The only good Hogan was when he was in the NWO and he came out to Voodoo Child, was playing the belt like a guitar. That's the only good Hogan.
Jerry the King from Psycho. Two
Oh.
audience.
Two for Jerry.
Jerry.
I guess screw Hogan means
Psycho.
for Jerry.
So we got two for.
Well, Psycho can't get. He doesn't get one. He gets one vote.
So you got Jerry, and Hogan. All right.
So far, Hogan is losing still. So we're going to give it another few seconds, see if we get any last minute votes in there.
Come on.
Is Alaskan going to break the tie? What's Alaskan going to do? He's talking about Bill Dundee, about Jerry's partner.
I've actually met Bill Dundee. He's a nice guy. He gave me tickets to a carnival he was running.
How short is he? He looks short.
He's shorter than me. I'm 5'11".
Yeah, he looks small. That was a couple of those guys, like Kevin Sullivan. If he was a couple inches taller, holy mackerel.
And looks like Jerry still wins it after all that. So Jerry the King Lawler takes it. Now, guys, this is going to be an interesting one.
Whoa. We got another vote for Hogan.
It's after the bell, though.
2 and 2 out in the crowd.
After the bell, you
After
can't.
the bell. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
No, sorry.
Yes.
A count only
Sorry.
goes to 3.
This is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be one who literally owned the television title in NWA in the 1980s. He held it longer and more than anybody else against the guy who owned the Intercontinental title in the WWF at the same time. We have the Honky Tonk Man versus Arn Anderson. Sarge, I'm going to start with you.
I'm an old school Mid-Atlantic and Georgia Championship Wrestling fan, so I'm going with Arn Anderson all the way.
And for those of you that don't know, the Honky Tonk Man is a cousin to Jerry Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
So, Night Strike, where are you going?
I'm going with Sarge on this one.
So that's 2 votes for Arn.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge?
Yeah, Arn Anderson. Never liked Honky Tonk Man.
Neither did I. Insight? You're muted again.
Said you got another guy from West Tennessee and Wayne Ferris Honky Tonk Man. I'm gonna put a vote in for him.
So that's 1 for the Honky Tonk Man. Gary?
Only because I met him.
Arn Anderson or Honky Tonk Man, Gary?
Anderson.
Well, that's 4 votes for Anderson. And I would have went with Anderson as well. So Arn Anderson moves on. And let me give you guys a screenshot, show you where we're at so far here. So we have Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Ivan Koloff, Roddy Piper, Tully Blanchard, Stan Hansen, Nikita, Sting, Jerry Lawler, and Arn Anderson. Next up, Kerry Von Erich versus the Ultimate Warrior. That ought to be an interesting way because, like I said, two huge wrestlers in the 1980s, both world champions. One of them beat Ric Flair for the title. Bonus points if you can tell me which one. Sarge, you go first.
With the Texas Tornado Punch, I'm going to take Kerry Von Erich.
Yep. He comes from a long line of wrestling legends. And all his brothers was good, too. Night Strike?
I'm going with Sarge.
And again, that's two for Kerry.
Von Erich.
Kerry Von Erich is moving up in the world here. Let me write this down. Knowledge?
Yeah, Kerry Von Erich. He was a lot of accolades to his name. Good wrestler.
Okay. Insight?
Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh, that's 3 for Kerry and 1 for the Warrior. Let's see. Where were we at, Gary?
Von Erich.
And I would have went Warrior, but it don't matter. Kerry has won it. Oh, carrying on his family's tradition here. Okay, guys. This is one between the biggest guy in wrestling versus arguably one of the toughest in real life. Andre the Giant versus Rick Rude. Gary, you're going first.
I'm going with the big guy, Andre the Giant.
Yep. Insight.
Loved Andre, but I'm going with Rick Rude just for that pain face. Oh, God, what an actor. He could put on the pain.
And he was very good at what he did. I remember that last match he had with Sting, the one that really screwed his back up. That was a great match. Knowledge?
Andre, big man. Got to go with Andre.
That's 2 for Andre. Night Strike?
Andre.
That will be 3 for Andre. Sarge?
I'm going with one of the toughest guys to ever wrestle. Ever. Rick Rude.
That's a good choice. And as for me, I'm going also with Rick Rude. So that leaves us another tie.
You guys don't know what you like.
I bet the Scotsman's on the phone with Jan.
I'm going with Andre simply for his beer drinking ability.
Wow. Superhuman, but if you read any stories or watch any interviews about Rick Rude, they say he was just ungodly tough.
Yeah, he was also a world champion arm wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little information that a lot of people don't know about Rick Rude. Well, folks, we're turning back to the chat one more time to see this tiebreaker. Is it going to be Rick Rude or Andre the Giant?
No, the chat lets me down all the time.
Let's see who they come up with, Andre or Rick Rude. Come on, let's see some votes. Dead Horse is saying Andre.
Psycho says Andre.
Yeah, Ravishing Rick Rude.
3. So
Yeah.
Scott says Andre.
Yeah.
you got
I
it.
took it.
Too Hottie says Giant.
5.
It was Fezzi from The Princess Bride.
Alaskan 556 says Rude, but Andre has taken it. Andre has got it.
Giant takes it.
Yep. Andre just killed Rick Rude. What a shame.
Not surprised.
And in an upset. Oh.
No. Guys, you want to talk about a fight that I'd love to have been able to watch? This one's it. Jake the Snake Roberts versus superstar Billy Graham. Two guys that can get in the ring and go. Well, not so much in his later days. But when he was young, Billy Graham could go. He was very good at it. Then he got steroid crazy and lost a lot of what he could do in the ring. So, and both of them had drug problems. So there you have it. But Jake the Snake or superstar Billy Graham, we are starting with Gary.
Let's go with superstar Billy Graham.
Star. Insight?
I'm gonna go with Jake the Snake.
So we're tied up at 1 each, gentlemen. Knowledge?
Wow. I didn't like Jake the Snake, so I'll go with Billy Graham.
That's 2 for Billy. Nice strike.
Billy.
It's 3 for Billy. This is not looking good for Jake the Snake. Sarge?
It's getting ready to look a little bit better for Jake the Snake. He was a tough dude, but like before he went to the WWE, I liked him better in Jim Crockett, but Jake the Snake.
And I'm going Jake the Snake, and guess what? Unless the Scotsman is back, we have another tie. So, Scotsman, are you here? He's sort of letting us down tonight, ain't he?
Do you think he passed out?
Yeah, maybe. Chat napping again.
He got arrested coming back from beer.
Here we go, guys. We're turning back to the chat on YouTube. Vote now. Is it going to be superstar Billy Graham or Jake the Snake Roberts?
Superstar Billy Graham.
Let's see it, guys. Who are we going for? Alaska says superstar. Jake the Snake. We have another tie. Scott says Jake the Snake. Looks like we're going to go Jake the Snake, guys.
There's 3.
Yep, there's another Jake.
Yeah, we're going to call it. We're going to say that Jake beat Superstar.
You can put the python back into the burlap sack until the next round.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, guys. One of my favorite wrestlers against one of the guys I hated. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Harley Race. We're starting with who do I want to go with? Sarge? Steamboat or
I'm going classic 80s Ricky Steamboat, not 90s The Dragon, but actually Ricky Steamboat from the 80s, I think beats Harley Race.
Tough one to call.
Tough.
That's
Very tough.
Thank you. I don't know what the hell's going on midnight. Night Strike.
Skip me for a little while.
Okay.
I'm having trouble deciding.
Knowledge.
Ricky Steamboat for sure. Always a fan.
So That's 2 for Ricky. Insight?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ricky the Dragon. Man, that guy was cut. He was pretty bad.
That's 3 for Ricky. Gary?
Mad Dog Harley Race.
That's 1 for Harley. Going back to you now, Stark.
I don't know. It's too hard a one for me.
You gotta pick.
You have to pick one or the other.
We've entered into competition.
I'm going to go Harley.
That's 2 for Harley. But I'm going to tell you, there ain't going to be a tie because I'm going with Ricky Steamboat. It's, again, some of the greatest battles I've ever seen against Ric Flair was done by Ricky Steamboat. So,
Yes.
and this is before, even when they were younger, before they got to the NWA, and Ric Flair was world champion. Him and Ricky would just go. It was absolutely amazing the matches they put on. I'm talking, you're sitting on the edge of your seat, wondering what's going to happen, who's going to win. The next one, guys, is another interesting one. One of the greatest heels of the 80s versus one of the greatest baby faces of the 80s. Son of a plumber, Dusty Rhodes versus Larry Zbyszko. And we are starting with Gary.
Let's go with Zbyszko.
You're going with Zbyszko. There's 1 for Larry.
I like that name.
Inside.
Did you say Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream.
Okay, you said babyface, and boy, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with Dusty on this one.
Yep, that's 1 for each. Knowledge?
Dusty Rhodes. Met him. He's a great guy. Great wrestler.
And he is sorely missed.
Yeah.
Night Strike.
Zbyszko.
Okay. Martial artist on top of everything else. Sarge?
Although he broke Bruno Sammartino's neck, I'm going with Dusty Rhodes over Zbyszko.
There you go. I will say this. I watched him beat the dog shit out of Eric Bischoff. And that in itself makes you want to go with Larry Zbyszko. Because anybody that beats the shit out of Eric Bischoff, is okay in my book.
And he was a really good commentator as well.
Yes. But Larry was not the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. So I'm going with Dusty on this one, guys. And that leaves us 4-2 for Dusty.
Does it?
Yep. Oh!
Back.
He lives.
Hi!
But it don't matter because even if he goes with Zbyszko, it's still 4-3.
Sorry, I was on the phone with Scotty M1959, so I apologize.
Okay, well, here's your chance. Larry Zbyszko or Dusty Rhodes?
I'm probably going to have to go Dusty.
And Dusty takes it. Even then. Dusty, my boy, just moves on. Okay, guys. We've got a former world's champion versus the greatest United States heavyweight champion of all time. Coming up in the next one. Magnum TA versus Rick Martel. And we're starting with Scotsman.
All right, say that again. Sorry, I was checking a message on my phone. My phone's blowing up like you fell asleep. No, I didn't fall asleep. I was on the phone.
Magnum TA versus Rick Martel.
Damn. I'm gonna go with Rick.
That's a vote for Rick Martel. Former AWA World Heavyweight Champion, had some great bouts with Ric Flair in his day and Larry Zbyszko. He was a good wrestler. He really was. And spent a little time in WWE. Sarge?
I'm going with old Terry Allen, Magnum TA, back in his day.
Yep, for the Porsche. Not track.
I'm going with Rick.
It's 2 for Rick. Knowledge?
Gotta go Sarge, Magnum TA, hell of a character. Good guy.
Yep. Tied up. Insight.
Let's say, let's go with another Canadian in here with Rick Martel.
And Rick Martel pulls ahead. Gary?
Martel.
And holy shit. I didn't foresee this one at all. I would have went with Magnum. Magnum was and still is my favorite wrestler of all time. His bouts with Tully Blanchard is just unspeakably brutal. Great matches. The matches he had against Nikita Koloff, the best of 7 series, freaking awesome. He had some hellacious battles with Abdullah the Butcher. And his tag team matches with were freaking awesome. It had the most perfect belly-to-belly suplexes of any wrestler I've ever seen, the way he performed. I'm going Magnum. Magnum didn't win. Kind of heartbroken about that. You guys will let me down right there, but that's okay. That's okay.
Blame Scotsman.
We'll go Rick. Yeah, I do blame the Scotsman. Prick. Guys, we are on to
Welcome, jackass.
the next round. And this is going to start getting really interesting. Wow. This one's going to be hard for a lot of you guys, I think. Because we have Ric Flair versus Randy Savage.
No.
Did you just go there?
I went there. That's next.
No. I want to recount.
Gary, Randy Savage, or Ric Flair?
Ric Flair.
That's one for Flair. Insight?
Yeah, we're going with Rick.
That's 2 for Rick. Knowledge?
It's got to be Rick. I like Macho Man, but Rick is just, shoof. He's the man.
Not strike?
It doesn't matter. Just skip me.
No. Come on.
No, it doesn't matter. Even if I pick Randy Savage, it's just
Open your damn fucking mouth and say the words.
Are you going Randy Savage?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, that's 1 for Randy. Sarge?
The dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
Okay.
That's true.
That is true. Scotsman?
If you ain't dirty, you ain't right, Rick.
I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm going to go for Randy, but it don't matter. Ric Flair has just defeated Randy Savage yet again. So there we have that. Oh, and here we go with 2 of the classic heels going up against each other. Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear, versus Roddy Piper. Another one that's going to be kind of hard, I think. And we're starting with the Scotsman.
What was the two choices again? Sorry.
Roddy Piper versus Ivan Koloff.
If I'm correct, one of those is a Russian bear, right?
Yeah, Ivan's the Russian bear, and Roddy Piper's from Scotland.
Even though contrary to what it is, I'm gonna go with the Russian.
Okay, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Ivan was a great wrestler, man. Ivan was great.
He was, and a lot of people might take that the wrong way because I'm Scottish, but I'm sorry, the Russian has the edge.
He was one of the most prolific heels in wrestling for a long time. Many years. Sarge, what say you?
You got to go with the hot rod on this one.
Roddy Piper. Nice strike.
Roddy Piper.
That's 2 for Roddy, 1 for the bear. Knowledge.
Out comes the roll of quarters from the kilt, and down goes Ivan Piper.
That sounds like a Piper move, too, don't it?
Yeah, boy. Foreign object.
Well, Ivan used foreign objects, too.
He was a cutter.
Hold on. What the fuck is that behind you?
Piper behind me there?
That's a very interesting background.
The man is a fan of Hot Rod. You can't fault him for that.
No, I don't follow him. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it'd be like us, saying you're funny because you're Scottish.
Or you hang around Janice Gay.
Yeah, or you hang around James Gay.
We're not going there.
Where are you at on this?
Rowdy is going to be strutting off in his kilt. I'm going to go with Rowdy.
There you go. Well, that's 4 for Rowdy right there. Gary?
Well, it's already over, but I still go with Koloff.
Okay. And I would have went for Koloff, but it don't matter. Now you might ask me why I would go for Koloff. Koloff was good on the mic, and not that Rowdy wasn't. Rowdy was a great guy on the mic. Some of the stuff that used to come out of his mouth was unbelievable. But I think just for the pure hate people had for a heel wrestler, I don't think anybody could come close to getting a crowd worked up the way Ivan Koloff could.
Rowdy would piss him off with the smirks. He would always look at him and give you that little smile, that little half I'm such a little badass smirk.
And he can back it up. That's the thing. He could legitimately back it up. He was a fighter in reality. So Ivan takes it. No, Roddy takes it.
Thank you.
Upset.
Yeah, that would have been an upset there.
The ref screwed us.
That's the way he did stuff, though.
Hey, it's the ref's choice. The ref wants to go the other way. The ref
Who says it has to be fair? This is wrestling we're talking about here.
Okay. Here we go. We've got money and hot women against dirt roads and cowboy hats. Tully Blanchard versus Stan Hansen. This is going to be interesting. I'm going first on this one, guys, and I'm going with Tully. As far as technical ability and, again, being able to draw heat, Tully was a master at that. And he had an intensity in the ring that was phenomenal. My vote goes to Tully. And that leaves you, Scotsman.
I'm going to give my vote to Insight because I don't know either one of those two.
Okay. We'll let you do that.
I feel it's only fair because I really don't know. So
So do you want me to go now?
Nope, we'll get to you in a minute. Sarge, Tully or Stan?
This is awful.
Yeah, I know.
This is awful.
Two great heels.
Oh, and Stan was just so brutal. But Tully was so smart. I think Tully would outsmart him at the end and steal the victory. I go with Tully.
Yeah, that would have
It'd be awful. I'm sorry.
You're full of it.
This bracket is terrible.
Night Strike.
I'm going Stan.
Another one for Stan.
There's no wrong answers.
Knowledge.
Tully get a face full of tobacco spit. Stan would be declared the winner. Stan.
Wouldn't that be a disqualification?
Well, you know, it depends on if the ref
Depends
sees
whether
it.
the ref saw it.
That's before it's tied up.
again, back to my point, the ref makes the decision.
Yeah.
Actually, he gave his vote to Insight, so Insight, you get 2 votes here.
Yeah, the only one who claimed to have poor vision than the refs would have been Stan himself in his stiff style, and I'm going to take the cowboy.
Well, that's 4 votes for Stan against 2 for Tully. And it don't matter. Gary, go ahead.
My vote would have went to Tully.
Yep.
But it don't matter once again.
It don't matter. Stan moves on. Tully's laying in a heat. That's what happened with most of Stan's opponents. They ended up laying in a heat. I mean. Okay, this is a classic right here, gentlemen. 2 of my favorites in the 1980s, and 2 guys that went head-to-head on more than one occasion. The U.S. title. Nikita Koloff versus Sting. Gary, you go first.
Nikita Koloff.
Wow, okay. Insight?
Yeah, I'm still sticking with Sting on this one.
So we're tied up, 1-1. Knowledge?
I go to Sting. Great performance, great wrestler. Yeah.
Night Strike?
I'm going to go to Nikita Koloff.
All right. Sarge?
Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare, all the way.
Okay. Crazy.
Not to influence you, but he was tag team partner with Ivan Koloff, Scotsman.
All right,
I mean, I'm not trying to sway you at all.
Repeat the question since I was trying to be swayed in one way or the other.
What'd you say, Scotsman?
Repeat the question.
Nikita Koloff or Sting?
Oh, Koloff.
Wow. Okay. Well, Koloff's going to win it, but I would have went Sting myself.
Another icon falls.
Yeah. I cannot believe y'all chose Nikita over Sting.
Yeah.
He was bad A.
Okay. Well, that's what y'all want. That's what y'all want. Well, Jerry Lawler, Arn Anderson. This is 2 heels. I don't ever remember seeing a match between these 2. There might have been one. I don't remember it. You go first. Arn Anderson or Gary the King Lawler?
Who did you pick to go? I'm sorry, I broke up there or something.
Scotsman?
Oh.
Jerry Lawler or Arn Anderson?
All right, I'm pretty sure you didn't pick me first, but then you did, so whatever. What was the two again?
Arn Anderson, Jerry Lawler.
I'm probably gonna go Jerry.
Okay, that's a vote for Jerry. Sarge?
I'll never vote against one of the four horsemen, and Arn Anderson.
There you go. Night Strike?
Anderson.
Knowledge?
Hail to the king, baby. Jerry.
Yep. Insight.
Hey, the king.
Okay. That's 3 for Jerry. Gary?
Lawler.
4 for the king. And I would have went for Anderson. And again, my vote don't count. So Jerry the King Lawler moves on. This is getting interesting. Oh, y'all gonna like this. Kerry Von Erich versus Andre the Giant. Wow. Gary, you go first.
I'm going with Andre the Giant.
Okay, that's 1 for Andre. Insight?
Yep. I was close last time. I'm going to take Andre this time since he knocked my last one out.
Knowledge?
Stay with the big man, Andre.
Okay. Night Strike?
Andre.
That's 4 for Andre, so it don't matter what happens from here on out. Sarge?
Andre.
5 for Andre. Crazy.
Andre.
And I would have went with Kerry. I'm the odd man out again, and Andre moves on.
That's because you suck, but whatever. Moving on.
Well, alrighty then.
Jake the Snake Roberts versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Talk about a classic. How many matches have these guys had against each other? Crazy, go first.
Jake.
1 for Jake. Sarge?
Ricky Steamboat.
1 for the Dragon. Night Strike.
Steamboat.
2 for the Dragon. Knowledge.
Dragon.
3 for the Dragon. Insight.
Ricky Steamboat, Dragon Man.
4 for the Dragon. Gary.
Jake.
And 2 for Jake. And I would have went with the Dragon. So Ricky moves on. DDT didn't pay off tonight. I can see this is shaping up to be interesting here at the end. Okay, guys. 2 former world heavyweight champions going at it right here. One guy wrestled in the WWF in polka dot tights. The other was an AWA legend. So we have Dusty Rhodes versus Rick Martel. And we're starting with Gary.
Martel.
Martel. Insight.
I'm still sticking with Dusty.
That's a good call. Knowledge.
Yeah, go with Insight, Dusty. Stay with the man.
Night Strike.
Dusty.
Sarge.
I'm going with Virgil, the American Dream.
There you
Dusty Rhodes.
go. Scotsman.
Dusty.
And I'm going with the Dusty Rhodes myself. So that's 6-1.
6-1.
We could call that a squash match, couldn't we?
I think so.
It's hard not to love that tight white fro.
Hey. And he had such style.
Oh yeah.
I remember him walking out with what he said was a $25,000 coat. Yeah. Guys, this is another tough one. And I got a feeling this was going to split us up a little bit here. The man who was famous for the figure 4 leg lock versus a man who's famous for the sleeper hold. So we have Ric Flair versus Roddy Piper.
Christ.
A classic matchup again. Oh, Scotsman, we'll start with you.
Gotta go, Ronnie.
Roddy Piper. Sarge, I know you hate me, Quinn.
Yeah, this is a tough one, but there's no doubt. Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, okay. Night Strut.
Roddy.
Knowledge.
My boy Piper. Sorry, Sarge.
Yep. 3-1 so far. Insight.
He'd better pull this out.
Roddy.
That boy, Roddy just beat Flair for the title.
Me?
Took a long time.
Yes.
Gary is done completely silent here.
No, I was just waiting to hear my name because everybody was talking over it. Rowdy.
Rowdy.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes!
Lord. You okay over there, Knowledge?
I'm great. Sarge is dead, I think.
Hey, Sarge.
Voted for Ric Flair.
Down goes Flair.
Flair got punked.
I understand the meaning behind Ric Flair and Sarge. So it's hard to understand that behind. I do.
Somebody better go help.
Please.
Down for the count, man.
Wow.
Put Sarge as the main person right now. Okay. That was perfect. The pose he had going on.
Yeah.
Sarge, that was
everyone.
perfect.
Nikita Koloff. Nikita versus Stan Hansen.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
That would be a brutal singles match to watch. And I wouldn't know who to give the edge to, honestly. I think that over a long time period, Nikita would probably wear him down because he was in better shape. Gary, where are you going?
Koloff.
Cheetah with a vote. Insight.
Slow, methodical Stan Hansen.
What's a vote for? Knowledge.
Still got to go with Stan. He's stayed true to what I've been going. Yeah.
Night Strike.
I'm going to go with Stan.
You guys got to remember one thing. They call Nikita the Nightmare for a reason. Sarge?
There'd be no winner in this one. They'd both be going out on a stretcher, but if you haven't already watched it, watch that video I threw up in the side chat, but I'm going Stan Hansen. He would edge him out barely.
See, that's the thing about nightmares. They eventually go away.
Yeah. Crazy?
It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with the rest of the panel. I'm going Stan.
Okay. I would have went Nikita, but it don't matter. So Stan moves on. to the semifinals.
You know, his book was The Last Outlaw, but he obviously didn't know about you.
Exactly. His book might have been the last. I'm just the best.
Bullshit.
Guys, this next one is going to be, I got a feeling, just slaughter, so to speak. Jerry the King Lawler versus Andre the Giant. Crazy, we're starting with you.
Just because I like to piss people off and, whatever. I'm going Andre.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. George?
I think as tough as Jerry was, he just couldn't overcome the size of Andre, and 80s Andre would win.
That's right.
80s Andre would win.
Knowledge?
I think Sarge said it perfectly. Yeah, Andre.
Insight?
Too big of a mountain for even the king to climb. I'm going to stick with Andre.
It don't matter how big they are to take the legs out, do it? Gary?
Andre.
And I would have also voted for Andre in this particular one, so that's a washout. So Andre moves on. This is interesting. Two of my all-time favorites going head-to-head here. Ricky Steamboat versus Dusty Rhodes.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to be happy with the end of this one either way because I like them both. But damn, it's hard.
I think you should start in the middle and go with Night Strike first.
Nope, I'm going to start myself. See, I'm thinking here and I'm remembering all these great matches from both of these guys. Dusty was a great three-time world heavyweight champion, television champion. Big, he can move in the ring. But Ricky Steamboat was built like a brick shit house and can just go and go and go. I gotta go with Ricky. Scotsman?
It's a tough one, but I'd probably have to agree. I'd go with Ricky.
Sarge?
Who was Ricky facing again? I'm sorry, I had a momentary
Dusty
lapse.
Rhodes.
Oh, I mean, oh gosh, two fan favorites. I gotta go with Dusty. As much as this pains me, I'd be inconsolable after this. Either one, whoever lost, I'm going with Dusty.
Yeah. Either one would have broke your heart, huh?
Either one, I'd be not as bad as you guys already broke my heart with eliminating Ric Flair.
Hey, I felt the same way when they got rid of Magnum, damn it. And Sting. Night Strike.
I'm going Dusty.
Knowledge?
I don't know if Dusty could have handled the rope work from Ricky. Excellent rope worker, Ricky Steamboat. So go with him.
One of the meanest arm drags in the business, period.
Uh-huh.
Insight.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I hate to give up the platinum blonde, but I'm going with Ricky Steamboat in this round.
Wow.
Disappointing.
Gary?
Dusty.
That's 3 for Dusty. 4 for Ricky. Ricky takes Dusty. That's hard, man. That's hard. Just type,
Dusty
just
fell on
typing
hard
it,
times.
just typing it in there is hard.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna have to
Paulie.
leave and go to a confessional right now after that vote.
Yeah, we're all gonna have to. Well, guys, we are down to the semifinals. Let me show you what we got going on here. This is what we're looking at. Roddy Piper and Stan Hansen, Andre the Giant, and Ricky Steamboat.
Oh.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. So, we're going to start with Crazy. Go ahead.
All right. Well, who's up first? Which two are first?
Ricky Steamboat versus Stan Hansen.
Huh?
Oh, wait a minute. How that?
No.
Wait a minute.
No,
No.
we already did that.
Roddy Piper.
Roddy.
Hey, I screwed up. Roddy Piper versus Stan.
I'm probably gonna go Piper.
Okay. Sarge.
As good as Roddy was, Hansen would squash him.
Night Strike.
I'm going Roddy.
Two for Roddy, one for Stan. Knowledge.
Piper, out comes the chair. Piper.
I'm sticking with the dirty one. I'm sticking with Roddy.
Yep. That's 4 for Roddy. Gary?
It's Roddy.
5 for Roddy. And I would have voted for Roddy myself, so that would be 6 votes for Roddy Piper. He's going to the finals, gentlemen.
Sorry, this is tied over there.
Sarge, sorry, man.
Just watch the video.
He's a heel.
Okay, guys. This is the big one here.
Told you I was gonna get crazy.
It was.
This
Crazy does.
wow. Ricky Steamboat versus Andre. Does speed beat that much power if he gets a hold of it?
No.
Ricky was tough. He could move. Andre was big, slow, but powerful. Very powerful. Like I said, Ricky had some of the best chops in the bills, and with his martial arts background, he'd be taking out them legs. So we're starting with Gary. Ricky or Andre?
I'm going to stick with my man, the big guy, Andre the Giant.
That's 1 vote for the Giant. Insight.
This one's a booger right here. I'm gonna go with Andre. I just think he's such a stinking mountain of a man. But I don't know. God, they're working the ropes.
You know, it's whichever one you like the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Andre. Lovable hunk of a man. There you go. Andre.
Knowledge?
Oh, that's a tough one. Love them both. God almighty, that's a hard one for me. I don't know. The knees things might work out. He plays special to that fast moving stuff.
No.
All Andre stuff kind of always goes out to the fast moving artist. So I'll play the devil's advocate on that one. I'll go with Ricky.
Okay. Master?
Andre. I'm sorry. Ricky's good, but you got to go with the power.
Slow moving power.
Yeah, very slow. He was not known as very fast. Sarge?
I think early 80s Andre had an advantage. I think late 80s Andre that Ricky gets him. So I'm going Ricky Steamboat.
Okay. Crazy.
Being a martial artist myself, I know what someone can do if they have the speed. I'm going to have to go with Ricky.
That ties it up. And gentlemen, speed versus power, which one wins? Which one was a better talent overall? I've got to go with Ricky. And Ricky takes it out.
Yes.
Not disappointed there. That's good still.
Hashtag not my bracket.
Well,
Hashtag no one gives a fuck what you think.
Hashtag fuck you, crazy Scotsman.
hashtag, let's take a look at the finals, gentlemen.
That's a long hashtag.
Roddy Piper versus Ricky Steamboat at the end.
Y'all need to look deep in your hearts here. Not his background, but deep in your hearts.
Look deep in your hearts and vote for Roddy.
Two of my favorites of all time. Well, now.
Shall we have a moment of silence before we enter into this final round?
Yeah, I think we need to have a moment of something. Scotsman, give us each a beer.
How about a ring girl? Do we have any ring girls?
We should, but apparently we don't.
We don't. Okay, Gary, let's hear it. Ricky or Roddy?
Let me start this show. Roddy Piper.
That's a vote for Rowdy. Insights.
Yep, sticking with Rowdy.
Knowledge, you already know where you're going.
Foreign object. Rowdy Piper.
Nice track.
Roddy.
Okay, well, that settles it right there, gentlemen. Sarge,
By the way, he did cheat to win, but he won.
Sarge, want to take your vote anyway?
I'm going to
That's
vote
the
for
way
Ricky.
of wrestling, folks.
I'm voting for Ricky, no matter what you guys think.
Scotsman?
Piper.
Damn. And I would have voted for Ricky, personally.
Sorry, Sarge. I got to stick with my countryman.
No.
He wasn't from Scotland. He just played that way on TV.
He wore a kilt that counts.
He was
Yeah.
from Canada.
And he has Piper in his name, so I'm sorry, dude. I got to stick with it.
Awesome.
There you have it. The winner was Roddy Piper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your definitive list of the greatest wrestlers of the 1980s. And this very wonderful panel of very knowledgeable person has decided that Roddy Piper is indeed the greatest wrestler of the 1980s. There you have it. Guys, how about we do this again next week after? And we'll do tag team of the 80s.
Ooh.
There you go. There's a flip side.
Did
Sarge,
Roddy
am I-
Piper tag team with anybody? Because I know who's going to win if he did.
I'm simply going to say this.
Mr. Wonderful
Since,
Paul Orndorff. Yes, he did.
I'm simply going to say this. Since you're going with tag teams, please do not, for all reasons that pertains to anything that is human, do not send Janice Gale Link.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, but we can do tag teams next week. So if anybody out in the audience would be interested in seeing that,
I'm all in.
okay, well, there you go. How about anybody else? Anybody else
Yes,
want
I'll do that. Take a little research time on that one to make sure I'm up on the tags.
Well, like I said earlier at the beginning of this show, there was a lot of great tag teams in the '80s. Now, let's emphasize this and get it out of the way real quick. We're talking about 2-person tags, not the 6-man tag teams or anything like that. And not guys that just got together one time to wrestle in a tag match and maybe won a match. We're talking about legitimate tag teams. So let's say the 4 Horsemen. You can break them up into 6 different teams if you want to, depending on the version of the 4 Horsemen you're talking about. More than that, you could have had Arn and Tully. You could have had Tully and Wyndham. You could have had Wyndham and Arn.
Ole and Arn.
Ole and Arn, Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Also Gene and Arn. Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
The Road Warriors.
Road Warriors is definitely going to be in there. The Powers of Pain is going to be in there. Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express.
Yeah, both of those.
Freebirds.
They were true tag teams. They knew how to tag team wrestle.
Yeah, exactly.
The Freebirds, like you said.
Fabulous Ones. Let's see.
I got one for you. I got one. Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood.
Yeah, boy.
Yep.
Beat that one.
That was. Yeah, but how long did they tag?
Up until Jay died. For several years, they headlined to Starrcade and everything.
Yeah, we can do that. Of course, you'd have to put the Russians in there, Nikita and Ivan.
Because when Ricky started, he was predominantly a tag team wrestler.
Yep.
Until he broke off after that.
A lot of them start off like that. Look at Shawn Michaels as a prime example.
Did you say the Road Warriors already? Or not sure.
Yeah. Road Warriors is. You can't have a top 80 tag team bracket without the Road Warriors. That's just.
You're gonna have to expand this to 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do me a favor. We gotta keep the numbers down. 36 is way too many.
Well, there won't be nearly that many when it comes to a tag team, because there wasn't nearly as many great tag teams out there.
And you got to have the Mulkeys in there.
Oh yeah, Monkey Mania.
Yeah, for their one television win.
Yes.
Yep.
The Killer Bee.
What you gonna do with Monkey Mania?
That's pretty quick there, Knowledge. I like that background now.
Well, you got to work quick, and he's champ. He's champ. You gotta represent.
I hate you.
That's not the world title. That's the Intercontinental. Okay.
It's only belt picture I could find real quick. So.
I don't think was he a world champion? I don't think he was.
I don't think he ever wore a world title.
No. Right there's the reason.
Until tonight.
But Roddy didn't need a world title to be great.
No.
Roddy was great doing just what Roddy did. Period. It's like another certain singles wrestler who's never wore a world title that will go down in history has been one of the greatest to never have it. Scott Hall.
Oh yeah.
That never won the world title, and yet he should have. He had the ability, he had the look, and he would have made a good champion. Probably a heel champion, but he would have made a good one.
Yeah, he had a lot of in-ring ability.
Oh God, yes.
He just couldn't stay off the bottle.
Nope.
One of my all-time favorites was the Boogie Woogie Man. He was probably one of my all-time favorites. Jimmy Valiant.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think he tagged much.
No, I didn't tag, but it's just a single. Yeah. He did tag team. He
Oh,
dominated.
actually,
He did. He was with
Bobby
Bobby Heenan
for quite a while.
Yeah, or not Bobby Heenan. Yeah, Johnny Valiant. What was the other?
He also tagged with superstar Billy Graham after Billy Graham left Paul Jones's.
Number one, Paul Jones.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, the Indian Deathlock that Paul Jones used is a fantastic control technique, in case anyone need to know this, in a modified version.
You would actually be surprised how many of those wrestling holds really work in real life if you know what you're doing.
They do. I promise.
Yeah, we found that out.
Yeah, well, I found that out the hard way many years ago.
Yep.
And the triangle hold, that's a bitch.
A lot of the holds are actually taken from traditional martial arts. So, as much as I dislike wrestling and the bullshit behind wrestling, there's a lot of moves that are actually taken from traditional martial arts. And if you actually know what you're doing and train the right way, yes, they are extremely deadly. And yes, there's a lot of issues and things that can happen if you have a decent idea of what you're doing.
Yeah, me and Sarge can personally tell you what happens when a 300-pound plus man gets body slammed into the hood of a car.
And grant you, there are some submission holds that they ain't nothing to it. A figure four leg lock. I don't know how many of it. Yeah, it hurts a little bit. It ain't like they put on TV. Now I'm sure you can modify it to make it really freaking suck, but for what it is there, no, it's.
I don't know. That wouldn't be very pleasant.
No, it hurts, but it's not like it's breaking your leg pain or anything. It does hurt. I've had it put on me. Many years ago, me and some friends used to wrestle in the backyard, and as kids did back then, we'd take turns putting different holds on people. I learned very quickly that arm bars really fucking hurt. Particularly if I twisted it just right. That shit sucks. In fact, I about got my shoulder dislocated. But guys, we're going to call this one quits because we're going for about 2 hours now. I'd like to thank everybody out there on Yahoo and over on the Gun Channel side for listening. I will be putting on a show tomorrow night. Again, Tuesday's an interesting day for me, guys, because Tuesday's the day I normally get out and do things. So I don't know which Tuesdays I'm doing what. I do know tomorrow night I'm going camping. Doing a little fishing tomorrow night. So I will be doing my show from my cell phone at the river. So I don't know how well that's going to work out, but that's how it's going to be done. Me and the girlfriend's going out, set up camp, and we're going to fish and camp throughout the night and see what we can catch, if we catch anything. So there will be a show, but I'm not sure what the quality is going to be like or what the signal is going to be like, so I'm going to do what I can with it. And we'll run it through the room real quick. Gary, what do you got to plug, brother?
Oh, got my website, gizzardgary.com. Also like to plug gun channels. Join gun channels. It's a great community. And visit guntube.org. And remember, always remember to give them the bird.
Always. Insight.
Yeah, and for the reason that we didn't have the Scotsman for about the first hour here, help a brother out for Scotty M 1959. That's really the big push that I've been trying to help with him. But also for those of you who are listening and don't know, Let Freedom Ring for the 4th of July. Go ahead and get your videos of shooting and get them ready to post on YouTube at 5 p.m. on 4th of July so that we can fill the feeds with freedom ringing. That's it.
That's the first I've heard about that. What's that all about?
This will be the 3rd year. It's kind of grown each year. Pop's Quest kind of shouted it out at the end of last week. I put a video out about it to follow that, I believe, on Friday. But everybody's just going to put together the videos, shooting steel, shooting whatever. But the idea is just to kind of fill the feeds up, fill our feeds up on YouTube with freedom
blast and freedom ringing at 5 p.m. Eastern time on the 4th of July.
Okay. Well,
Just a little fun.
I will see what I can do about making some freedom ring. How about that? Knowledge, what you got?
Got YouTube channel Knowledge is Ammo, and Instagram same moniker Knowledge is Ammo. Got a couple videos up there, and got another one coming out on skeet shooting. So check me out there.
Very good. Night Strike, hit or miss Tuesday nights 10 o'clock.
That's right. And check out guntube.org.
Check out guntube.org. It's actually pretty damn cool. And guys, I'm gonna say this, Night Strike, we pick on you a lot, all of us do. But you know what? You're doing a great job with GunTube. We really, truly appreciate you. We appreciate all of the work you've put into that. Man, we got your back. and you know, we're here for you. So, and speaking of this whole Freedom Rings thing, I'm going to plan a trip out to your place so we can let some Freedom ring for that 4th of July thing.
Yeah, we need to.
Yep.
Remember, I got 2 fireworks shops in town that are open year round.
So, probably next week, I'll try to get back out to your place. We'll do some shooting, get some film done, and do some of that. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay. Sarge, what you got to plug, brother?
I appreciate the invite, even though I contest the results of this bracket, but I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next week's, and I want to ask one thing: is the Let Freedom Ring, is that 5 o'clock Eastern time or Central, or what are we doing
Eastern, 5 o'clock Eastern time on the 4th of July, p.m.
Okay, I will film something, upload it, and then make it public at 5 p.m. that night. I want to plug one thing. If you guys get a chance, I'm trying to push my teaching kids gun safety video. I got my boys in there, got my youngest one to kind of star in the video. I'm trying to push that out there so other people think about gun safety and kids. So if you get a chance, watch that, share it, push it out there a little bit. But like I said, all in all, I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to next week's tag team bracket.
Yeah, that if any of you guys come up with a tag team between Dan and Neil that you want me to add to that list, other than ones we've already talked about, or is just keep me up to date or remind me of which ones to add, send me emails, or I'll give you my phone number if you prefer that. That's no problem. Scotsman, what are you plugging, brother?
Insight pretty much said already. If you guys would, please check out hashtag Help a Brother Out. It's huge. I spent the first hour of this chat on the phone with Scotty, so I apologize. He called me. He's got some stuff going on, but he just wanted to talk. And that's kind of what we do. We help each other out the best we can. During that time, I got a message from another YouTuber. I'm not going to say anything right now, but another YouTuber has some shit going on, and there'll be more coming out on that here soon. And being the guy that I am and being the crazy son of a bitch that I am, I'm going to figure something out for him also. So stay tuned.
Yep. Thank you once again for being here, crazy. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Any of y'all, you're welcome on this show any given point in time. Insight, I need to set up another date to have a one-on-one with you. And Sarge, how about a one-on-one with you coming up in the future sometime?
I'm in.
Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. In the near future, you can expect 2 new interviews, one with Insight and one with the Sarge here. So that's something to look forward to. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you all. Have a good night. And no, there is no Felicia here.